What pushed you to start Shape Up in the first place?
So I was working in the construction industry as a site manager. Then I worked as a project manager. Then I worked as a contract manager. And throughout my career working for other companies, I was always thinking about having my own business. So that was the starting point. We did start beginning of 2016, but we were doing different type of construction works, refurbishment, mostly kitchens and bathrooms for council properties. And then because that market became very competitive and it was making no financial sense, we've just regrouped and found a different pathway. And then we came across EWI. The government had grants going on at the moment. We did more measures than not just external wall insulation, but out of everything else that we've tried, external wall insulation made the most sense to us for the workforce that we had, the partners that we found along the way. So, yeah.
Question number two. How did it feel at the very beginning?
Should start with just another spoon. It wasn't easy. It's not the way people imagine running a company would be like. I guess most of the people start this thinking about the success they might have, but to be honest, it's a very long walk to get there. You get used to go through everything. To be honest, it's you change your 9 to 5 job to a 24/7 job. All of a sudden, you're always at the end of the decision making. You cannot pass it on to anyone else, so everything falls on your shoulders. But I mean, it's part and parcel of everything. Um, but if you ask me, knowing everything I know now, if I would do it again, the answer would still be yes. So I think it's worthwhile, and as long as you don't give up, you have high chances of eventually getting wherever you
Would,
dream.
would you do it differently if you had to start again
Um,
with the knowledge
yeah,
that you have now?
yeah, I would change a few things because obviously when you start, you have a bit of naivety about lots of stuff. But I guess it's the learning curve. Obviously, I know more things now than when we started, so I would do certain things differently, definitely. I still don't regret anything that happened up to now. It wasn't easy, but I think it starts to take shape now. So
You can
yeah,
say it's shaping up.
yeah, finally, I think so. Yeah, which is good. It's a nice feeling.
That's good. Was there a point early on where you thought we might not make it?
Yeah, yeah,
What was
definitely.
that point?
That happened constantly throughout the first years of us doing this. But we didn't think about it that much, to be honest. We were just focused on doing the job the way it should be done, serving the customers the best we can. Even if we had jobs where we took a financial loss, at the end of the day, it was what we promised and we had to achieve that. So I don't think we had any customer that we left behind. I think eventually we did have a few customers where it wasn't as easy as we wanted, but with every one of them, we ended up in a good agreement, so to speak. So everything was sorted out eventually. So we did get to an agreement, but that was very rarely. It happened very rarely. Most of our clients, to be honest, we speak to them even today, even if we did the job 5, 6, 4 years ago. They're when we call them or when they call us, we're always happy to talk to each other. So I think that says a lot about what we're trying to do.
When you look back, what do you think made you stick with it through the tough periods?
I was always talking to the people that worked for us, or my associates, and through tough times, and unfortunately we went through quite a lot of tough times, because it felt like business not picking up. What's the point of doing this and that? So in order to motivate the people around me and even myself, I was always using an analogy of walking up the hill, and the analogy was that we're about to start a journey, or we've started already, and we're walking up the hill, and there are clouds, so we cannot see the top of the hill. But whatever we did so far, we're still closer now than we were yesterday or last year or so on. So quitting now would mean whatever sacrifices we have done up to where we are now would all be lost.
Mm.
But just to give like a shorter one, in a nutshell, whatever we did up to now, if we stop now, we lost everything. Whereas if we carry on, we have a better chance of keeping what we have done, so not losing that and then improving and then eventually ending up being successful.
So keep going no matter what.
Definitely.
That's good advice. That's good analogy as well.
I mean, look, the business world is not easy. It's so tough out there. It's, you're on your own and you have to sort everything that everybody's throwing at you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look around at successful businesses or successful business person, they all had hiccups in their careers. They will say that they went through lots of stuff before they ended up being who we know them as being. So they went through maybe bankruptcies, businesses that failed. You know, it's not easy, but
Yeah.
we know the people that never gave up. Basically, those are the people that we know as being, yeah, well, they have Amazon, they have whatever. Yeah, they never gave up.
Do you remember the very first project that you took on, and what do you remember most about it?
So the first job that we did was actually for a person that's from my hometown.
Really?
Yes, and we never met before, never spoken before. Um, we were on Trustmark because we were qualified to the external wall insulation. There was a grant going on back then. It was called Green Homes Grant. So people were finding us online. Um, I think at that moment in time, we're talking about end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Throughout the whole of the UK, there were under 50 companies that were pass registered to the external wall insulation. We were one of them.
Mm.
Most of the registered company were in the Great London area. I think we were about 30 something properties, and then, as I said, throughout the whole of the UK, we're about 50. So, because of that, and because Green Homes Grant was advertised very well, I would think, we had loads of phone calls and emails coming in. And one of these phone calls was from this guy that's, as I said, from my hometown. And then we kept talking about it. We've exchanged a few emails. Then we were on the phone. And then I've sent the quote over. They've applied for the grant. They got the voucher with our quote. And it so happened that we have booked that job in as a first job.
Small world.
Yeah, indeed. So we had some other jobs that were lined up because, as I said, the phone was ringing. I couldn't have like a normal 5 minutes conversation with anyone without the phone ringing a few times. So that's how it was. Yeah. So we've booked the job in. I know we had the system provider over on site. So basically, with that job, we had 2 audits at the same time going on the first job, and it was a bit nerve-wracking because it was a moment of make it or break it for us. If we were to fail those audits, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. So let's put it that way.
Okay.
And we knew about that.
High stakes.
Yeah, definitely. It was exactly after the COVID restrictions and all of that. So basically, the world in the UK was coming back to what we used to know it as normal. So we kind of had a very quiet year the year before because of all the curfews and everything. So whatever money we had, we put into qualifications. So it was a make or break moment for us. So if that was to be a failure, then no more Shape Up Construction today. So again, because I'm here, you might
might think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So It was nerve-wracking. So we had the Insta group on the job because they were our first system providers. They came to see if we know how to do the job. We got carded on the job. They were happy with us. We had the pass auditor on the job as well, doing all. We had to do all the paperwork, everything. So we were successful with everything, and yeah, that was it. But that was what I remember about the first job.
That's
So
good. Lots of stakes.
yeah, everything like high pressure, but we went through it. So